When it comes to the NFL, there are few names that generate as much excitement and passion as Josh Allen. For the die-hard Bills Mafia, Allen's place at the top of the quarterback food chain is undisputed. But what happens when top sports outlets weigh in? That's when things get interesting. Fox Sports recently dropped its list of the top 10 quarterbacks heading into the 2025 season, and there was one glaring surprise: Josh Allen. The Buffalo Bills QB1 found himself ranked as the #1 quarterback in the league. That's right, Allen, fresh off a massive MVP campaign in 2024 and a trip to the AFC Championship game, is now being touted as the league's best. But is that truly the case? Let's dive into the debate. Sure, Allen's performance in 2024 certainly speaks for itself. His MVP-worthy season was filled with jaw-dropping plays and leadership that propelled the Bills deep into the postseason. But despite that, Allen's ranking over some of his contemporaries, especially the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, is raising some eyebrows. Let's start with the guy ranked directly behind him, Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to imagine a list of top QBs without the Kansas City Chiefs star right near the top. After all, Mahomes has been nothing short of spectacular in his career. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, a 2-time league MVP, and, oh yeah, he's been to the AFC Championship game every year since 2018. His Chiefs bested Allen's Bills in the playoffs for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons. But even so, Mahomes is still considered second fiddle in Fox Sports rankings. But is it really fair to say that Mahomes should be #1? If we're being honest, there's a legitimate case to be made for Josh Allen, even when stacked up against Mahomes' accolades. For starters, Allen is in the middle of his prime at 29 years old, which means he's only going to get better. When you factor in his ability to not only sling the ball around, but also make plays with his legs, he's a rushing threat unlike any other QB in the league. It's clear that he's a unique breed. Speaking of rushing, Josh Allen is one of the most consistent dual-threat quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen. Over the last 5 seasons, Allen has passed for 28 or more touchdowns every year. He's rushed for 500 or more yards in all but one of those seasons. Plus, he's been responsible for at least 6 rushing touchdowns per year. Oh, and don't forget, he's also managed to account for 40 or more touchdowns in each of the past 5 seasons, which extends an NFL record. These aren't just numbers, they're statements. And don't even get us started on Allen's supporting cast. While Mahomes may have Travis Kelce, Allen has a stellar group of weapons around him, including Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and James Cook. Combine that with one of the brightest young offensive minds in Joe Brady, and suddenly, Allen's offensive potential looks as dangerous as anyone's in the league. But we can't just focus on Allen versus Mahomes. There are a couple of other quarterbacks who deserve to be part of this conversation. Lamar Jackson, for example, who finished the 2024 season as a first-team All-Pro selection over Allen. Jackson, who also happens to be a 2-time MVP, is coming off what many believe was the best season of his career. But here's the thing. When Allen and Jackson squared off in their AFC divisional matchup last year, Allen came out on top. That's not to say Jackson isn't a phenomenal player, but this past season may have shifted the balance toward Allen in that debate. Then there's Joe Burrow, who led the league in both passing yards and touchdowns in 2024, is a superstar in his own right, and it's hard to ignore his record-breaking season. But while Burrow's numbers may have been impressive, there's still something about Allen's all-around game, his mobility, his arm strength, his leadership, that makes him an undeniable force in the NFL. Of course, lists and rankings like these are subjective. Everyone has their own opinion on who's number one, and there's always room for debate. But what Josh Allen has proven over the past few seasons is that he's firmly in the conversation as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And if he can carry the Buffalo Bills to a Super Bowl victory in 2025, there's no question that he'll cement his place at the very top of the NFL quarterback hierarchy.